is how interested Envy are in trying to make use of mid now, especially knowing that they're probably going to be dealing with like a wall and tube every single round. Like JC Stun is going to walk up there and just throw a barrier, providing he can afford it. You know, whether this is that they still try and work more towards the extremities of this map, because it's only been recently. It's only been like, you know, teams like 100 Thieves and maybe sort of, you know, Sentinels to a degree that, you know, really trying to make use of that part of the map. Like we see like Steel like to lurk through mid as often as possible here, and cutting off rotates is extremely powerful. Also, you know, if you can get a lockdown, if you're an attacker, Killjoy, and you can get a lockdown in kitchen, it is so devastating for the defenders to have to sort of operate around that.
Yeah.
So, decide a map. Jordan, here we go. It's in the Icebox. Envy are going to be attacking first, and it looks like A is the order of the day.
Look at this Viper wall set up through the middle of the site here. And Envy trying to give Immortals a little bit of that pacing early, but Immortals is saying, hey, here, have the bomb site. I told you, man, it's a hard site to hold, and I don't blame them for this setup. They have the good shock darts ready for the plant. Going to do some damage here, and I think that's a smart fight for them to take, try to get a numbers game early. If you fall back in 5v5, it gets a little wonky here. And now the dance begins.
Typically, Immortals like to play retake on A. That's why you're actually seeing less frenzies from them and more ghosts, because they just know they're playing longer wrangles here. Here comes the defuse, though, so eventually Envy have to stand and deliver. They have to do something about this. Just a tickle, and it's enough to, you know, draw Mummy and Caboose into the trap. Now some of those frenzies get involved on the side. Crashy's now, he knows he has to get his hands dirty. There's really no other way around it. 2v1 situation. Food gets the 1v1. Gangster has to defuse. He has to stick. There's no other choice. And very classy. The hot hand drops down, and Gangster gets some split ends.
That's literally, it's just these after plants on this map are so much about utility there. As you saw, the Phoenix Molly, the raised nades, another Phoenix Molly, the flank, the shock dart. It's like everything's going to be coming, and you're going to see that all half here. That's why you even see some teams probably like Brim on this map. We don't see it here at the moment, but Brim's another solid pick for those post-plant utility, and so it's a big part of those situations.
Somewhere Hayes just sneezed, as you mentioned, the Brim on this map. Now, Viper Wall on A also, it actually shuts down the attacker's high ground position, the sort of belts position that operator players go to, and it sort of shuts down the crossfire for attackers. So it's pretty strong, and it's to be where Envy want to go now. Food gets himself the orb, and he's 1 kill away from the run it back. Let's see how some of this utility gets deployed here for Envy.
Just kind of choosing to contact in here. I like the play. They just walk in. Crashy's going to get the bomb down fast. Almost don't let the Ruma get destroyed there. And now they're just going to back off here as they have the 5v4. And you don't really need to do much special here when you have all this utility ready to be used. You just need to make sure you don't let them push you. So someone needs to be kind of playing the spot off the crate a little bit.
Runner back's available now as well for Food. Pushes out. That was it there. Enables Mummy to find a kill on Nature. FNS. It's a late lurk. The Cloudburst actually initially kept him out of that position and shot up his... I mean, he's challenging this, which means only one other player from IMT's watching the side at Substance Chemicals, who has to try and find a way to make it happen here. But he tailwinds into a hail of bullets, and Food will find 2 to end things. And that looked pretty formulaic from Envy, right? They push dark cover over towards Snowman. They just get the plant down, and Nature has the poison orb, he has the snake bite, but he's not really able to interrupt that plant at all.
Yeah, interesting. I like the contact. Envy's keeping it simple early right there, and taking the first 2 rounds. So I wonder. I feel like there's going to be a lot of that kind of in this map. They kind of heavy lean towards the site early. It's unlike like Ascent where you see a lot of like mid working throughout the game.
Sure.
Maybe you'll have 1 lurk mid, but again, 4 guys towards A, 1 B, kind of just holding the early push for the punish. But other than that, pretty straightforward play here. Soba Drone coming in and looking for the early tag.
Moose checks that corner there. The Viper Wall means he just has to sort of spray that corner and gives his position away. Caboose gets rid of chemicals on the side there. Shot Up is able to play this angle and seeing very little from Envy so far. Right now, FNS is actually probing the B side, so this is not necessarily a full commitment from Envy right now. They try and sell that a little bit more, like a dark cover over towards Boilers here, but the rotate is underway and there's no one here for Immortals.
Yeah, if they know this, they could potentially climb up into kitchen and get a little close and maybe aggressive here, but I think they're just going to opt to stay back here. They got Caboose, who's ready to kind of backstab here. late, the key for him is not to die early. He's not in a big rush. Right when his team starts getting in a fight, you should see him move on the mini-map.
Okay. Spot yellow position there. Of course, Gangster able to get some information. FNS is there. Snakebite also deployed to force FNS back somewhat, but doesn't force him out of this position. He just looks at all the pretty, you know, carpeting on the floor and says, okay, yeah, anything else? Come and get me, baby. Gangster just gets completely ruined. Swiss cheese by FNS, who is...
But the diffuser's coming in.
Can we stop this? Is there enough time? Just...
Red, as you were talking, I kind of got caught off guard there, and I noticed Viper was sticking that. I thought maybe they would have got a little cheeky defuse in there, but they're not going to get it in a great afterplan again from Envious. Kind of things look pretty textbook from them so far.
I mean, this is why you're here, Jordan, because I was just getting caught up watching FNS vomit lead on the entirety of Immortals as they tried to interact with this. And there's that Sage wall, a little bit of a nickel and dime play as they try and, you know, get a quick defuse from behind it. But I think at that point, Immortals are just trying to see what they could throw at the wall and what sticks.
Again, 4 people towards A early. They're going to throw the drone because there's a lot of opportunity for the defense to push across right there where the tower. You see the drone looking right now, the Omen smoke, this Viper wall again being put up. Trying to hopefully deter them at A main, but it hasn't done that yet. So far, they're just kind of walking through, and this A bomb site is, as you see, so hard to hold. You see the Immortal players just often to play passive, but again, not getting the early kill they needed, and Food doing such a good job in this best of 3, finding those openings. And now, if without shock darts, oh, they are actually going to get one. Food slipping up here. That's a common angle he's got to be careful of as he falls from the site. And Immortal's about to start the retake here with the Killjoy ult.
Yeah, we have a Venn diagram of lockdowns here. It's going to be the attacker's lockdown that triggers first. One player actually detained that. Looks like Gangster up on rafters, gets caught in that one, but he knows that he's pretty safe because the defender lockdown also triggers right after. No one caught in that one, and we're back off to the races once more. This time it's going to be Envy forced off to the side a little bit more. Immortals are allowed to walk up just a touch. Chemicals with the operator. I mean, what does he see? Just enough. He gets rid of Caboose there, and now a 1v3. Crashies has to work in from a long way away. He hears the spike being tickled, but it's only so much he can do, and it's enough.
Massive.
He gets a couple stray bullets on Gangster, interrupts the defuse, and a 1v3. That is going to hurt in the morning.
The first guy he killed at the angle, I wasn't sure if he could delay by strafing out a little bit and then make Crashies have to swing a little bit more into the opera, but he took the fight at him at that diagonal angle. It's very subtle, but I think that could have been the difference maker. He probably just got confident, hey, I have 2 teammates, like, we're not going to lose this. But that one missed fight and then an off shot, no matter what position you're in, you missed the shot. Boom, Planner's dead in a massive round by Crashies there. And that's not what Immortals needed this early to try to get their bravado into this game.
Here's the variation though. Look at the information play on B for Immortals. They push right up green here. And this could allow FNS to find something as Chemicals pushes up with nothing but a classic. Chemicals at his optimal range right now. If you think about right click's effectiveness, and FNS spots him and he'll get away.
You know, it's nice they got the orb, but so far not much gain for Immortals yet. I mean, if they were able to get a kill close, that'd be great, but Envy kind of just spreading the map. They want to break that wall or potentially do a little damage to it, keep the Sage honest. And then again, they said, hey, they're giving us A, so let's walk in. I think one of the big takeaways for me, it's a subtle thing, is make sure when we get the plant down, we don't die from the heaven stairs like Food did last time, and the round should be much simpler.
Crashies really gets away with that one scot-free there. Drops in and maybe loses a little bit of that armor and health. It's a shock dart towards Boiler there. Doesn't catch anyone, but the player advantage is... It bodes well for Envious right now, as Gangster is just being speculative with some of these shots from Rafter. Viper Wall gets replaced. Caboose is happy to sit in that, doesn't mind so much. And Gangster takes his head clean off. It's a waiting game here right now for Envy. See what Immortals can do. I mean, they walk straight into a wall of bullets, and it's kind of what you expect to see. I mean, Envy come into this round really undergeared, and Immortals, sorry, and Envy get a free site take on A. Immortals, I mean, Jordan, how hard is it to play retake? You know, Immortals are just leaving A for a retake in many situations.
Yeah.
They've only got like the classics and frenzies. Like how
See, this is
impressive is that?
This is where personally still I struggle with, you know, should Immortals be making the decision to just get aggressive A here and take fights? They're just not, it's not the easiest place to be aggressive. You kind of have to hook a right there around that first fight under the rope at A. And so it's like, you kind of want to be able to win these retakes. They're getting some kills, but that Crashies 1v3 really, like, You can't let that happen when you're trying to play a retake, and that's probably just taking so much of their confidence and steam out of them, and now they're in another unique situation where Food's gonna run it back here and find another entry frag, and that just keeps happening, and that has so far been the difference this game.
No nature, so no wall on A anymore, but it looks like all eyes are on B. Food was hungry and he got his just desserts. Now, Caboose playing out of yellow here, and Envy can slow it down again. Look at this. He can pull back out to A once more. Mame is going to... Oh, this position is just dirty. Gangster sees no, he doesn't cancel it. He still gets the kill. That is adding insult to injury now, and Immortals are out at sea, and Caboose is keeping him in place.
Oh no, I'm surprised he even wanted to stick that ult, because that's, you know, people rotate there so fast.
Sure.
So for him to win that fight is insane, and then he just smokes himself out and stays, and he's probably going to go down eventually, but if he even gets one more, that is insanity. Oh,
Mummy's accidental. A rat. This is a rat position. Oh!
That's massive.
It is traded though, so Immortals have the numbers. Just positionally, they are really behind the 8-ball. Nature is another charge of Snakebite. He actually has Viper's been available here for the retake, so that may get used. Blade Storm also there for Chemicals. There it is. Okay, and FNS catches shot up. Not ideal. And oh, the knives don't connect either. FNS finds himself yet another one, and Nature is alone here.
Wow.
8 bullets, a dream. More of a nightmare now as the scoreline is starting to resemble
this
something.
Game,
it's filthy.
The scoreline, like you're saying and referring to, it might not paint the whole picture here. This happens in a lot of matches that I watch at a pro level. It's 6-0, but probably 3 different rounds came down to small situations. If Chemical gets those knife kills right there close on FNS, that might be a round win. Same with the 1v3, could be another round win. And these small things happening right now are going so against Immortals, and they need to win a couple of these small rounds. It's obvious. I'm saying rhetorical things right now, but if they don't get any of these gimmies
to go their way sometimes,
yeah,
right?
They need 1 or 2 of the 50-50s, and to be able to get their momentum that we see them strive so well in.
What has been an incredibly competitive series right now. Icebox has really not lived up to the expectations set so far. Nature, it's a free haircut. Inverse Mohawk to you. He retreats out of the site here. He'll be setting up the poison orb now for an attempt at a site take. And curiously, Crashies has forged quite deep here at A. Maybe trying to get an early lurk. Shot up on the Killjoy.
Yeah, he knows they've been playing passive, but he hears the turret. So if he makes the noise now and lets it go off, then they might rotate. So what he's going to do is he's going to wait till his raise is right behind him, or the smoke comes, better yet, and he's going to now cross the site. Perfect timing potentially to get a kill really quick before they see him, and he does. Now stay alive is the goal. It's going to be a tough one.
Oh my god, almost a shocking reception for Crashies there. Had he gone up the tower, he dies to the shock dart 100%. Boot though finds JC Stunny, and alright, Killjoy ultimate gets thrown down now, so Immortals only have like 1 more second to find something, and then they have to play really late here. This is going to give the plant to Food in the standard location.
Oh man,
how do you break this post-plant hold for Envy?
Yeah, this one's gonna be tough, especially when the confidence, you have someone at the foreground like that, Food, not turtling and winning fights. Like, I love, if it's a 4v4 right there, maybe Food shouldn't be taking that fight always, but the fact that they just 4v3 drops the numbers right away and gets that kill, it's very underrated. Post-plant, a lot of people think, oh, just hide and wait for them to tap the bomb, but it's, when you're in a site like A, you don't want to let them throw up clouds of smoke and starts half in the bomb without you seeing them. So I love Food's aggression. He's one of the MVPs for me right now and envious.
Nature was the only person who could have prevented Mummy from seeing the bomb with the way that the Viper was placed down at the start of the round, but of course he was much more interested in keeping his weapon, and even that has been denied him. Caboose taking everything from him, the clothes off his back, and Envy now 7-0. Immortals have at least a chance here to buy back into this round, but it doesn't seem like the weaponry's been the issue. They seem to be lacking inspiration, and they're refusing to really fight for A. Giving Envy a post-plant situation seems to be a death wish.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is I think by the time they're planting each round, Immortals probably already feels on the back foot a little bit because they're not getting the kills they want. Food gets that entry on B again. They go down 4v5, and I think it gets... I wouldn't call it full desperation mode because I want to give Immortals a little more credit than that, but I think they realize, like, hey, we need to win some duels. So they start taking duels, and then it just snowballs downhill for them.
Wait, I don't think that Viper's Pit got put down properly. That Viper's Pit, I think, is supposed to cover the ground and the entirety of the choke area, and I think... Oh no, that's gone completely wrong. I think Immortals were trying to deny that site with the Viper's Pit. It may not even matter, by the way, because Food is already just strutting onto the B side, but that really punishes Immortals either way. Even mentally, and Chemicals walks into the crosshair. Envy have the download right now on Immortals, who are struggling to vary their playstyle and get the drop on their foes.
Yeah, Envious is fundamental. Just play across the board on each map is paying dividends for them here in Icebox. They're not allowing Immortals to get the picks they want, and they're just punishing them with the aggression at the right time, and it's just adding up to the exact scoreline.
This is looking much more like Envy in the latter half of Bind, Jordan. Pretty one-sided. Immortals look absolutely listless. Envy, I mean, it doesn't matter which side they hit right now, they're finding success, and they are playing slow, whether it's getting crashes into A early to sort of set up a forward position and rotate there after they trade at B, or just let Food walk onto a site. Food has had an unbelievable series so far, and we often wondered, Caboose obviously was playing a lot more of the main duelist role, and we would see Food in the past playing stuff like Sage and sort of picking up Sentinels if it was required, or any of those off picks, but putting eggs in Food's basket, allowing him to be that sort of key entry player, seems to have made such a difference.
Yeah. This is an eke around. They're getting aggressive. I'm going to take a second to talk about it. I noticed Sean Garris had mentioned on one of his streams that he thinks a lot of the European teams, another great entry by Food, he thinks a lot of the European teams play a little bit more fundamental, and that's why in the long run he thinks when NA and EU start playing, that EU is going to have a slight edge because they play more fundamental. We obviously see that there is merit to playing aggressive like Immortals does, because when you win with that aggressive playstyle, it's probably very demoralizing for your opponent. Sure. It just compounds and compounds and compounds. But when you don't win those 50-50 rounds and you lose some of those clutches and you have a little bit more of the Envy approach here and a little bit more of a well-rounded approach, it seems to just be more stable in terms of holding leads together and keeping momentum. Obviously, when Immortals winning, like I said, it's full momentum, but it's just going to be interesting. I don't know if I'm really making a statement here, as more as I'm just bringing a thought to chat's attention, your attention, as we move forward in the scene and watch the different playstyles. I think aggression, there's always a place for it, but to what degree?
You're highlighting there, I think, some of where Envy are really getting over IMT, and they vary up that round, by the way. They send Food through mid the first time.
Yeah.
They actually try and use mid, and now they're going to use it again. Look at them then. They actually set up, they're going under 2. Mummy might have TP'd on top of it here, and so Immortals are just like, whoa, the script has been completely flipped here. Can they fight back?
Did Crashy just pass? Okay, yeah. Crashy should go down in a second here. Oh, if he would have missed that, that would have been the embodiment of this game in a nutshell. Oh, man. Immortals may be able to finally take a round here.
Immortals were ready for this mid presence, though, at least, Jordan.
Massive rotate over, and this is where you can win a man down situation in a 3v4. Now 3v2. Great opportunity. Mame here with AWP. If he gets one, boom, 2v2, they fall back. They don't know where they're at, and now it could be another round for Envy.
Oh, okay, so FNS isn't rewarded for playing by Boiler because all of the Immortals players actually go towards Rafters for the retake. He might still have an opportunity, but Mummy gets rid of Nature. This is your 2v2, Jordan. You teased it. The player down situation. Oh, it's all gone wrong. That is just ungodly from Envy to turn that around. They use it from the shadows to get Mummy to the site. They plant the bomb, and now, I mean, you are so demoralized if you're Immortals, because that was obviously a round you invest in a big way and try and take these early picks on the B side of the map, and it still doesn't make a difference.
And that's a tough one to win because you think you have the advantage there, but the second that Omen TPs and has the ability to isolate people, that is a very high level situation to be in when you're in the man up. You think you have the advantage because of numbers, but because you're playing against a sniper and there's a lot of subtleties to the angles you're exposed to, you're trying to retake, boom, one op shot, you're now neutralized, as we saw, and then all of a sudden, one more kill, and you're guessing after where they move. That's a 2v1 where you're now in a disadvantage just because of one wrong place. And Envious just riding the momentum here. Even though kills are traded, they're gonna now go to 11.
Yeah, messy round, to say the least here. No. Crashies has 6 HP, so unlikely to get too much done here. I think he realizes that perhaps Envy have got a little bit too flamboyant on this particular round. Crashies out there asking where the where the rest of his team has gone. A little bit late for that, I'm afraid.
I spoke a little too soon there.
It got pretty messy. I mean, to be fair, the fact that Caboose is actually able to find an extra kill in mid after, he's just stood in the middle of this slow field by the Sage, right? Get shards of glass all up at his foot. Crashes may die to the turret here. This would be the most ignoble end you could ask for. Peek and Shot Up finds the kill. Immortals finally get around on the board, but Jordan, it feels like it is little more than consolation as we head into the last round of the first half.
Yeah, unfortunately, that round is not going to really juice them up too much. They've already lost so many that they should have won. At this point, they're just trying to keep their heads down and focus on the coming round. Immortals actually does seem like they have a decent bit of resilience from one map to map 2. I feel like I saw that. I think right now they're losing these 50-50 rounds, and it's not that they're lacking confidence; they're just lacking rounds, really. And they're going to need a couple strung together here to really have some confidence.
All right, this little spot from Chemicals. It's a nice variation, but it does give his position away with FNS playing through mid. That is a player advantage early for Immortals as 100's Fury deals with Crashies. But FNS has got himself into a lurk position. One more. Perhaps Caboose. Okay. It's a trade.
I like it. I think it's worth it.
Ahead.
B-plant here. And there's a run back available for food, Jordan, as well.
Cover going out.
Decent post-plant situation now. And Mummy plays from yellow. Turret deployed here by Shut Up, who again is not playing a duelist. Here it is, the runner back. And you can see all of Immortals try and make themselves scarce right now. Chemicals peeks out into the crosshairs and is devoured. Now Mummy, again, gets to continue playing from this yellow position. Do they know where food is? No! Shot Up loses his head for it, and it's a 2v1. This is textbook from Envy, Jordan. What an absolute demolishment.
Now, Food just doing so much with his presence alone, and then the flash, Mummy, give him a little props there to kind of hold back with the frenzy and not overswing. Now, he probably could have got the kill regardless, but by waiting for the curveball from Phoenix, he was able to solidify it with a 2v1 and the teamwork. What a half by Envy.
Immortals are on the ropes right now, but a pistol win in the second half could set them on a trajectory to make up the deficit. We might see how that goes in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, so stick around. We'll be back with the conclusion of this series. Well, here on Icebox, Envy have absolutely painted the snow red with Immortals. Very difficult first half for this young upstart squad. Even Gangster at best is getting 9 kills for 12 deaths. Envy really seem to just have the jump on what's going on here. So a chance here, nothing for Immortals to stay in this game, but it really has to be a pistol win. We'll see the approach now.
I was still muted there. Deep breath as I am laughing. There's hope. I've seen it. It's happened. No matter what. In various esports, we've seen this situation.
You don't sound convinced, though.
Yeah, we'll see. I almost feel like not even talking. Watch this round. Let's see what happens this pistol round. If they get some momentum off it, and we'll talk from there. All right, Mitch?
All right. Chemicals here at yellow. Again, gets rid of the recon dart. Okay, interesting. Tailwind to get away from Caboose, so Caboose doesn't really have the chance to get the drop on him here. FNS steps up, though, and the Ghost rings true. It's 2v1 now, and Shot Up has it all to do. FNS on the defuse right now, but Shot Up should know this, so from long range, he knows he can just spray down lightly, and FNS has no choice but to stick the defuse. And Immortals do what they promised to do, what they had to do to stay alive in this series. It's not easy. It doesn't look pretty either, but they get themselves the pistol win.
Yeah, this is the definition of one round at a time, and the protocol and the definition of one round at a time for a pro is, last round didn't matter, next round doesn't matter, this round matters. It's one battle and to win the war, and if you talk about the last one, unless it's conducive to the next, then it doesn't matter. So you have to stay focused on the present, and it's possible, one round at a time.
So you have to compartmentalize every round as its own entity. trying to approach each with a fresh mindset. Immortals off to the races here as they make their way towards green. They'll be using that Viper wall here on the B side to screen off and essentially make crossfires extremely difficult. It means that Snowman is essentially pointless, but somehow Caboose, he gets the drop on them! Oh no, the bottom falls out of the boat for Immortals and they are out at sea. No life jackets available as Chemicals is just looking left, right and center for a teammate. There are none left.
Jet was trying to say, I don't need a life jacket. I could float above the water, but he fell deep into the depths of Immortals analogy right here. Rather envious. Envy. I wish I could have finished that one off for you, Mitch. But yeah, geez, look at this triple kill from Caboose. And
just sat there waiting.
You know, one round at a time sounds pretty until someone stands behind you and kills three of your teammates.
This is disrespectful. I mean, you're tilted.
Definitely tilted, and at this point, I don't know what the comms are like in the Immortals house, but I can't imagine they're too enthusiastic.
Despite that, a chance for Immortals to put their best foot forward potentially one last time in this series before heading down to the lower bracket. And they are going to push again with that same sort of pace this time. No one waiting in the wings. No goblins here to cut them off at the knees. Okay, very pretty looking sight, but not a whole lot achieved with the use of the utility there as they cause the nano swarms are activated. Here comes the plant. Or not! Satchel charge out from Caboose.
Quickly broken apart here as we're still in a 5v5 stalemate situation as everyone's looking for the first frag here to open up a little space here. Immortals now checking the flank partially and forced to fall back as none of their walls nor aggression netted them any ability to plant comfortably. Trying to find a little bit of new life here as they fall back into spawn and, you know, neutralized, but they did take some damage and they did lose some abilities. Their Viper wall is set up at B, so they're not going to have the easy one-ways or anything at A bomb site, as Food is already back, the man of the hour, ready to keep solidifying the brick wall that he's already been here.
It looks like, okay, so Snakebite maybe used to try to force Food out of that position, but he just sidesteps it and he was already entrenched. He was ready to receive this push from Immortals. Chemicals tries to come over the top of the knives, but FNS finds himself two. It's a 2v2, and this is Immortals trying to stay alive. Crashies has a chance to end the series here and now. The spike is loose and not planted just yet. 17 seconds left with the double peak from Immortals. They are still dotting their I's and crossing their T's, and so they keep their head above water.
They do. That could have been a nice little opportunity for Crashies to get one, but Immortals doing good to keep their basic fundamentals together. They stayed near each other and they fell to the right side of the peak right there for Crashies not to be able to isolate them. Double swung on the right. They're keeping their comms up, which is a good sign that there is a chance that they bring this back. But unfortunately, a W is all that counts. There's no MMR rating from making the loss any less. It's not comp. Yeah, back to one round at a time here, Mitch.
I mean, there technically is some MMR if your GM likes tweeting about your ranking based on, you know, like a Valorant sort of ranking website,
yeah,
but otherwise, you're dead right. Immortals will have another chance, of course, another chance to take a crack at Envy if they lose this series with the Guardian. No, okay. Doesn't quite work out for FNS as Chemicals sprays him down with the Ares. 4v4.
Envy backed off now. Caboose just looking to find one as they cross here, playing passive, gonna use the satchels if they decide to throw up the wall again. But this time, Immortals opting just to take these fights here, which I like. You know, don't just give them space. The more smokes, the more walls you throw up, the more these pistols can close in on you. And when you got the bigger guns, you want to take the fight.
Mummy baited into the alarm bot there. Plant was able to be executed. Shot up now is staving off Envy admirably. So Immortals, they get done exactly what they had to do. Despite, I mean, they could have been derailed quite easily after that second round of this half being lost, but they managed to recover on their very last chance. And I'm pretty sure Caboose just gets sprayed down through a wall there. He has no idea what hits him, of course. The extra penetration of the Guardian actually becomes relevant on that side.
Yeah, good. And that was who got the kill up top through the Viper wall. That was clean. 12-4.
Let's see what Immortals... Okay, so Envy... See how they're positioned up on the A site right now. They are playing fairly far down green. And this is the standard Killjoy play, right? They obviously throw a turret out. That is going to alert the Killjoy player that someone's there. And Gangster is just trying to...
Get the tag.
He's able to force them back.
Got the tag. Doesn't know if there's another guy yellow. He saw the Killjoy. Kind of running a default here, which hasn't been Immortals' bread and butter, but on a map like Icebox, you either go or you don't early. So, you know, they don't have much options here. They set up that Viper wall again, hoping that maybe it keeps them honest at B.
Stay down.
Food could get aggressive and start clearing soon here now that they got that kill. But as they've come back here, Mumme's just in a prime position to keep getting frags and potentially get away right here. He might have just wanted to take the rope, but he uses the crowd step, gets away, and now Envy is in a solid 5 versus 3 on match point here. See what Immortals opts to do here if they can find some kills without the trades coming from Envy.
Here's the lockdown to start off the fight with. Now, Envy have 4 ultimates. Hunter's Fury being the first of those. Oh, they get rid of the lockdown, and they get a kill with the Hunter's Fury. That is huge, and that's going to pretty much seal the deal here. Gangsters left in a 1v4. The spike is loose, and that will do it. Envy conquer Immortals. This time showing that they are the team to beat right now in North America. Not only, of course,